The Sierra Foothills is Sierra Foothills, and this community does not need something like this project coming in here. My name is Scott Telfer. I am the chairperson for the Keep Somerset Rural Committee. It's a organization that we created out here. We work concurrently with the Fairplay Winery Association to basically keep this place rural, keep formula businesses out of it, make sure the facades on our businesses are going to be up to standards. And right now we have a serious contention with one project that has decided they think they're going to move into our neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Daniela Devitt. I'm owner of Sentivo Vineyards, and also I'm president of the Fairplay Winery Association. Fairplay is, until we bought the vineyard and built the winery, we had never even known about this beautiful gem of an area out here. And not only are the vistas just incredible, but also the wines. When we tasted some of our neighboring wineries before we even became one, we fell in love with the wines and decided then that we were going to be making wines here. The community is collaborative. The community of winery owners work together, not just on something like the Dollar General coming in, but we work together to promote the area, to promote each other's wineries. I've never been in a wine region that has had that sense of community.
The vineyards, the rolling hills, the horse properties. For myself, I live on a property that's 11 acres, and we live in a community that the least property you can buy is 10 plus acres. So it's rural, it's a community. You go into a winery and you pretty much know probably about 75% of the people there. The locals love it out here. The locals come here for one reason, and that's the tourism. We have bed and breakfasts out here. We have, I think there's 22 to 24 wineries alone in the Winery Association. But we have other wineries out here. We have Camino, we have surrounding areas.
I'm Sherry Fitzpatrick. Around here I'm known as a berry dipper. I'm a classic American entrepreneur. 30 years ago I took my passion and hobby of chocolate dipping strawberries and started a company called Sherry's Berries. And about 18 years ago we moved my family up here to the beautiful Fairplay wine country. I've got 3 sons, and I grew up in Oregon and wanted to get my boys in the dirt and away from TV and video games. And so anyways, we moved them up here, and we've raised our sons here. It's just an amazing community, full of peace. Over the years, we have a lot of friends and family that come and stay with us, and it's kind of like their happy place, and they find their serenity there. It's very quiet and quaint. Above all the noise and busyness of the city of Sacramento below.
February 2nd, we found out, it wasn't even brought up to the community's attention, it wasn't brought up to anybody's attention, not even the wineries. We found out on a Facebook post that Dollar General and the owner of the property, who sold the property to them, that used to be a community member out there, basically started a grading permit, submitted a grading permit and a building permit for a 9,002 square foot Dollar General. Where they are proposing this Dollar General goes in is adjacent to Perry Creek. It is also adjacent to one of 3 Sierra Wildlife Rescue facilities out here. There's 3 in El Dorado County, and one of them is right next door to the proposed project site, which would cause turmoil to the animals that are already displaced and injured. So we have a problem with that. We also have a problem with the fact that there's 1.4 acres and a 9,002 square foot footprint right next to Gray's Corner, which has been established for years. It's a real problem. Perry Creek is a navigable waterway, and it feeds into Outingdale, which feeds into the Cosumnes River, which actually provides the water to Outingdale. So there's the environmental issues there. I know for a fact, because I've seen the septic report, that there is a septic issue. I heard from Environmental Management that there may be another septic report, but even with my Public Information Act, I did not get those records. So your question again, why we don't want Dollar General out here, is because where Dollar General is, I can give a great example, Lake County. Lake County is another winery region, and there's Dollar Tree, there's Dollar General, and it's just, that place has gone downhill. I used to go to Clear Lake, I used to water ski with my family when I was young. I'm currently a private investigator, and I won't even take cases out there because it's not the area to be. And I'm really sorry for Lake County because, you know, Clear Lake Oaks in particular is where the Dollar Tree and the Dollar General are. And it's just, we don't need that here. It denigrates everything that we have fought for 3 decades. As I said, tourism is our economic surplus out here, and we do not need Dollar General being the first thing you see when you come into our Fairplay AVA.
We found out that Dollar General was going to be coming in, and it would be placed at the corner of E16 and Fairplay Road. That is the gateway into this very beautiful wine region. And it shocked us. We found out by a Facebook page, then someone notifying us from the community, gone to the county, and then had an emergency meeting with our wineries because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit our area. Everywhere you look, you're surrounded by panoramic vineyards and hills, and you're in a rural setting, and it's charming. And right at where they come in is going to be this box store. The signage, everything doesn't fit. So I'm here representing the winery, saying this isn't where it should be. We don't want it here. And it was never in the plans. Always they discussed that they were going to keep our area rural, but nothing ever happened, so that other big box stores wouldn't be coming in here. But particularly their location would downgrade the beauty of our area.
The thing is, we have 2 beautiful corners as the entrance to our Fairplay wine region, and one of them is being developed and beautified like a Visa Tui feel in St. Helena. Just gorgeous. There's going to be outdoor park and waterfall and fire pits and an event center and a great tap house and a quality deli and restaurant. Beautiful. Welcome to Fairplay, okay, on this corner by my house, half a mile away. Then, a mile down the road, you have our other entrance where Fairplay Road comes off of E16. And it's unfathomable that a yellow neon 7-Eleven type Dollar General would go in there. I mean, I'm a girl in corporate business, and I understand the business side of it, but I know that our local officials will not allow. They cannot allow anything like this to come in. It would be detrimental. It's like I keep thinking about Reno, you know, the biggest little city in the world, you know, I mean, who wants a yellow Dollar General store to be the marquee of Welcome to Fairplay? I mean, there's no Dollar Generals in Napa or Sonoma or any of those counties, and certainly we want Dollar Store to play fair in Fairplay.
I think the most important thing to my neighboring wineries and to the community is that we keep Fairplay the beautiful place that it is, and keep it with the uniqueness and the rustic and the rural all combined with the wine charm. And we are really doing all we can to let more people know that we are here, that Fairplay exists, and as we bring more people in, if that's the first thing they're going to see is that Dollar General store, their impression of this area will be very, very poor. So we're looking forward to really inviting more people in and stopping this from happening.
So they submitted a grading permit and a building permit, and for the first time in, I would say, anybody's life experience, this permit got put through in about a week. It went from submitted to pending, then on the status it went from pending back to submitted after both myself and the committee, as well as Daniela and the Winery Association, raised a stink at the March 9th Board of Supervisors meeting when we were trying to pass the emergency or the urgent ordinance that George Turnbull, our District 2 supervisor, and Lori Parlin, District 4, supervisor actually put on the table this urgency ordinance to stop any formula business from coming into the rural centers in El Dorado County for 45 days. It was voted down, and that ordinance didn't pass. So the committee and the Winery Association have both just been fighting this tooth and nail. We've thrown legal battles. We've gone through Board of Supervisors meetings, Planning Commission meetings. We've done everything that's humanly possible to be able to stop this project, and I feel that we are gaining traction. Of course, Dollar General and Woodcrest Development probably don't agree with me, but this permit to be a ministerial permit and be allowed to go through without any environmental impact report is absolutely ridiculous. It's unheard of. And just because it's zoned a certain way does not mean that this project should be allowed to continue any further. So our general plan was, as Lori put out there in her presentation on March 9th at the Board of Supervisors meeting, included overlays and historical content for not only our area out here, but other rural centers. The rural centers are basically properties that are zoned commercial in our areas in El Dorado County, and they should go by strict planning standards and building standards. So George Turnbull and Lori Parlin actually made a motion at a Board of Supervisors meetings about 2 weeks ago to put a commission together that would regulate and put in place our building standards and general plan in the rural centers. So when that came to fruition was last week at the Board of Supervisors meeting when they actually voted on it. And surprisingly, it was a unanimous vote to include the rural centers. And we were delighted to have Fairplay and Somerset actually named in that motion. We have Holiday right up the road in Pleasant Valley. We have Safeway, we have Save Mart, we have all of the other grocery stores down in Placerville. Everybody out here moved out here for one reason, and that's because we know that these stores aren't here. We don't want them here. Holiday is what serves us. Pokerville down in Amador, sometimes we'll go down there and they serve us. We have Gray's Corner, which is a gas station and a quick shop. So we have that local. We have Somerset Store at Four Corners. And we have the True Value, which is where I personally go and I get my feed for my horses. And that's our feed store out here. And that's right off Omo Ranch in Mount Occam. So our region is Mount Occam, Fairplay, Somerset, Omo Ranch, and that is the Somerset region. So that's our stores. Our other businesses out here, the wineries, I think that are bed and breakfasts. A lot of the wineries do Harvest Host for tourism, where they can come, they can park their campers, and they can just sit there and camp overnight, and all they're obligated to do is buy a bottle of wine and visit the wineries. So it's just that's what we're about. We're not about a formula business, chain stores coming in here. We don't want a McDonald's, we don't need Taco Bell, we don't need Carl's Jr. We don't need any of that. We have our restaurants, our local restaurant down here at the corner of Fairplay and Perry Creek, owned by Casey and Frank. They run a killer establishment. You need to go taste their food. It's called Creekside Cork and Brew. I think if you guys went to any of the wineries out here right now and you asked, what about Dollar General? You'd probably get an earful.
By having a Dollar General there, that will change the entire feel of our neighborhood. We're rural, but the demographic here is not one that really just suits Dollar General.
We have a petition out here to stop formula businesses, which is 480 plus signatures strong. I don't know if anyone knows, but the population of Fairplay in general is 503 people. So it's a pretty good percentage of our community that is definitely against this.